Welcome all. Very good evening. Today's session is again, we are going to have a follow up of the case presentations that we've been doing. Today, this I want just want you to have the if you are new today, if you're this is the first time you're joining me, a small introduction about myself is presented on this slide. So let me get into the case details of what I'm going to present to you today. As I keep telling you, in every session when I present a case, it's very important for me as a professional to see to that I do not break the confidentiality of any of my cases. In any of my cases about my clients, and I have a long period of work of 15 years where I have worked under a lot of people and worked in different organizations and my own cases as well. So, to the best of my knowledge, I would try to maintain the dignity of whomever I am presenting, and they remain to be anonymous to the participants. And with the name change, here I'm presenting Minnie's case. And one more thing is, there's none of the ongoing cases which will be presented. Whatever I'm presenting will be which was a past case, which was in the past, or based on my experiences with school, college, corporates, family counseling, couple counseling, and various other individual as well as groups where I was introduced to and where I had the opportunity to work with. So, in the case of Minnie, we're talking about is Minnie is a 34-year-old woman, and she had currently doesn't have both her parents. She lost her father when she was young, and she had a mother, and she happened to be the fourth child, girl child in her family. And She was born when her parents were quite old, and thereby that parenting was missing from a very small age, and after a few years, when she was a teenager, she loses her mom as well. She grew up with her uncle, and her uncle had supported her in some way, and due to their own financial situations, she couldn't pursue graduation. And as a survival um, method, like she has to survive, more than looking into education, there was a situation where she had to provide for the family where she's living, and to also to provide for her own self. She had to take up a job, and she had the option to do a distance course. So there, what happens is, when she was quite young, when she's 19, through recommendation, uncle recommends her to a known person, trusting that person that he would help her, and she goes to a different place for work, trusting that known person who is known as their community religious guru, one of the guru of their religious community. And that person runs an organization, and he is the boss there, and she stays. It so happens that she stays with their family for a period, and during that period, out of trust, the family only has sent this girl, and they know each other as families as well. But still, such an incident happened. He had the so-called person, the boss had, in the sake of getting her a job, he misuses her, by sexually abusing her. And she didn't, at that age, she didn't say that to her uncle. She had a fear of losing job, and she also thought that people wouldn't believe her if she said, because he is in a very respectable position in their religious community service or whatever. So she continued to work, and she was getting a salary, so she was fine with having a salary at that age. Based on her understanding, she went with the flow, and felt its injustice to her boyfriend. She had a boyfriend. She was in a relationship during that period when she was 19. And she further continued she did not want to further continue the relationship with him. She abruptly cut him off. She fell in love again when she was 22 years old. She got engaged to the same guy whom she fell in love with, and she called off the wedding, stating that he made her wait for a long time. So there was some delay to take it to the next stage of marriage from the guy's side, and she waited for 2 years for the marriage to happen. And from whatever she portrayed, it was due to his own personal reasons that he was not able to make it happen. Like to me, it sounded like his genuine personal reasons. Like his parents had an intercultural marriage, and he had an Indian getting an Indian visa was difficult for him, and to accommodate her in the country where he was living was difficult, and he was not yet settled in a job. According to his understanding, he felt that he's not making enough money to start a household. Um, so these were some reasons that he had, for which she was annoyed, and she called off, though he was willing to wait and wanted her to wait. And then this just once this is over, then after few years, again she falls in love, and she has picked a person who is not willing to give her a marriage commitment. So the person was in a relationship and is not in a state to coin the name of the relationship, whether it's a love relationship or whether it is kind of friends with the benefits, or what was there in his mind was not very clear. But still, she continued to stay in that relationship for few years, and due to his own personal reasons, like he says, no belief in the concept of marriage, and he denied to marry. And she was like really broken and torn after all this. And the presenting complaints or concerns of Minnie when she meets the counselor is, Minnie feels unsettled in professional and family life. So she feels like, what am I doing? It's like, what am I doing in my life? What is happening with my life? Kind of thing. She feels anxiety when the so called guru abuser visits their community religious gatherings. So they have these gatherings once in a while where they have their own kind of rituals. And when such rituals take place, she's put in a place where she too has to attend. And it is a constant fear and kind of social fear, some kind of societal fear that she has, and doesn't believe in men. She's scared and she doesn't believe in men after all these episodes. So, what work can be done with her? What intervention can a mental health professional can give her? So, first important thing is diagnosis. What is she actually going through? What is the current problem? What is like happening? When we look into to it, there are some symptom sign checklist inventories which can measure and give us a quantitative number, and which states whether it is mild or moderate or severe symptoms of whatever they can be showing. If you are not a clinical psychologist who has a RCA registration, then better not give anything in writings when it comes to diagnosis. We can speak about the signs and symptoms but not give a diagnosis. If you are a licensed clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist, they have the privilege to write a diagnosis and sign it. So here, the diagnosis of this particular 34-year-old woman, Minnie, is mild to moderate anxiety and PTSD. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. So, in connection to whatever happened in the past, the person is in a kind of traumatic state and often goes into this fright or flight response. When we are scared, we're either like something shocking happens, we're either frightened or try to flee, run away from that. No, that is the fright or flight response which she often faces. And medicines prescribed by psychiatrists, like they may suggest anxiolytics which will help to reduce the anxiety. But in Minnie's case, she did not prefer to take medicines because she felt that she's not comfortable with taking medicines. Though she met a psychiatrist, she did not continue medicines, in spite of me insisting her to also have checkups with psychiatrists to do the necessary help. But I continued my work with her. So assessments like the house tree person test and 6P story making, thematic perception test gives me an idea. It gave me an idea about Minnie, what Minnie is going through, and even my social atom activity, which is a sociometry activity to just see what she thinks about herself and the people around her, in depth discussion about it. So, such things helped. And looking at therapeutic intervention is what we can do through visual arts, storying, narrating stories, creating stories, writing life journeys as part of like my specialization being expressive arts therapy. These are certain things that I did. And most important is to provide legal counseling as well. Legal counseling, educate many on laws of our land, Indian Constitution on the protection and safety of women, and on our fundamental rights to live a life of respect and dignity. So that education is important, so that when and where something happens to them, they should first stand up for themselves, not to like go through shame to. And I think each of us as adults have a responsibility to educate the younger generation that when any form of abuse happens to them, they have to stand up for themselves. Whether it is a man or a woman, they need to stand up for themselves, they need to address it, they need to talk about it. They don't need to shy off from whatever harassment happened or whatever abuse they went through. In today's session, interestingly, we being a small group, I think this psychodrama role play can be very helpful to us. So, though I used various techniques which I just explained to you, this exclusive technique helped me. This was very useful for me in Minnie's case to give this kind of an intervention. So here, role play is again, I can also call it the chair technique. So once there's a comfortable rapport established with your client, and to just be comfortable with each other, and they are in a good state, and you are using a client centered approach, and you know what your client is comfortable with. In Minnie's case, she was very good at writing. Her literature was really good, her vocabulary and all that. Um, she used to do creative writing to just express her grief, expressing her grief in the form of poetry. She used to do that very beautifully. The language she uses was like really, really creative and extremely good. So that she was using as a method to vent her emotion, like grief, sorrow, humiliation, some kind of embarrassment because marriage was not happening, or some feeling that she had that people are rejecting her, or she is being rejected. So that those kind of thoughts whatever she had, and the duration for this client was an year, almost a year. She gave cooperation. Once in 10 days we used to meet up, because she had so many tangles to repair herself, and she was consistent in having meetups at the clinic. So here is two roles, two different roles which me as a director me as a director of the drama facilitated Minnie to play. So Minnie plays the role of two Minnies. So we give her the choice to place the chairs. So one Minnie is an emotional Minnie, another Minnie is a cognitive Minnie. So what is being facilitated is a conversation between emotional Minnie and cognitive Minnie. So Minnie is the one who arranges the chairs. So whatever is provided in the therapeutic setting, where is emotional Minnie going to be seated, and how does she arrange the chair for the cognitive Minnie to be placed, and me being the director would give her some basic instructions of what she what needs to do. In this particular slide I have introduced a picture where three people are there, just to show that in this particular psychodrama there are three roles that Minnie has taken, and she's now arranged as chairs, and then she's having a conversation. Next, I've just mentioned using props. Using props is kind of using a property, using a property in the sense any kind of object, because we're using various modalities. A prop can be anything created by Mini. It can be a model Mini made, or it can be an artwork that Minnie made, which is she placed on the chair to represent the cognitive Minnie or emotional Minnie, or it's her choice. So my role would be only a director to just give her the basic instructions of how she can go through it, being a support system. But she decides what prop, whether she wants to use a prop or not, or if at all she's making a choice to use a prop, what is that prop. So in this particular play, in she used a black dupatta as emotional Minnie. She'll place it on the emotional mini's chair, and she wanted to mostly take up the cognitive mini's chair, and the third chair was placed in another direction, facing emotional mini and cognitive mini, and I was also present there as a director to facilitate the conversation. So I will just give you an example of how this conversation went on, with just a minimum dialogues for your own understanding, which actually happened. So this emotional mini, when Mini goes and sits in the emotional mini chair, she totally experiences herself about her description about this emotional mini. What? So she will have a list of points about the characteristics of that emotional mini within herself. No? So that role she takes. So she maintains that body language. Me, as a director, instructs her to feel it that way. And the kind of body language she wants to maintain to just feel comfortable and take some time to set her mind and then start speaking to the cognitive mini. Here, the emotional mini is giving a dialogue to the cognitive mini. Mini says, I don't like this life that I'm living. God has been so unfair to me. I don't deserve this kind of harsh treatment that life has thrown on me. Why should such things happen to me? Other girls of my age are married and settled with kids. I'm still a nomad, is what she feels, and she's conveying this to the cognitive mini. So, cognitive mini listens to what she says. Then, what happens is putting the prop, that is the black dupatta, in emotional mini's seat. Mini will get up from Mini's seat, emotional Mini's seat, and she will move to cognitive Mini's seat. So when she moves to cognitive Mini's seat, she will be looking at emotional Mini's chair, where she's left a dupatta representing emotional Mini. The reason she told me why she chose that particular prop was, black is a color that she does not like. And that's why she wants to represent emotional Mini with a black color. So she, in turn, cognitive Mini tells her. So when she goes to the cognitive mini state, now her body language changes. She takes some time to change role. So she has only set a kind of list of characteristics of what is this cognitive mini, a description of how she is. So basically, cognition is thinking. It's okay for us to be emotional, but it's very important for us to also take our brain with us. To go with our emotions is fine, but it's important to always use our mind. So that is emotional intelligence, and that facilitates emotional regulation. So the cognitive mini is speaking to emotional mini, saying that I completely understand your feelings. I still feel that there are a few blessings to a supportive uncle and family whom you are still staying with. Your aunt has been fair with you. They are not willing to, I mean, sorry, they are willing to look for proposals too if you agree. You have finance for your survival. Some decisions were made by you. So always we cannot put the blame on God or someone else, no? People, why nature is doing this to me. No, but some decisions we only would have taken it for ourselves. So I think when we make a decision for us, it also comes with responsibility. And she says, cognitive mini says, not situations to be completely blamed. So she gives this response again. She did not place any prop in cognitive mini because she preferred to be most of the time in the cognitive mini's place. So only for the emotional mini, the mini has used a prop. So in order to like listening to all this, she'll again go back and sit in the emotional mini's chair, and the response she gives to what cognitive mini told her was not convinced. Emotional mini is not convinced. So this is just one scenario. This doesn't happen just in one session. I'm just introducing how this happens. And if you have understood this, I would want you to just put a thumbs up so that I can take you to the next stage of what happens. Okay, thank you. So here I'm introducing another character in the drama, the observer. Before we think, we react, or we respond, or whatever kind of contact door we use, the van's contact doors. The best contact door can be being an observer. First, I observe, then I process, then I feel that emotion, and then I execute it in the form of behavior, not immediately jumping into actions. So to be an observer is very important. So EM is emotional mini. So this mini has taken the observer seat now. She sits in an observer seat where she can see both these characteristics: cognitive mini with an empty chair and emotional mini with a black dupatta. So this observer mini is just giving a communication to both cognitive mini and the emotional mini. She's sitting in that chair and she's looking at both the chairs and saying this to whomever she's addressing. Emotional mini, I feel that cognitive mini is telling you makes sense. Whatever cognitive mini is telling you is making sense to me as a third party when I'm observing the conversation between both of you. You are getting stuck. As an observer, whatever Minnie is seeing at herself, she's saying, you are getting stuck. Your stronger emotions are paving way for you to take the decisions, not paving way for you to take the right decisions. It's disturbing your thinking process, is what she was able to see as an observer. And thereby, observer Mini is talking to both of them, saying, emotional Mini, I want you to collaborate with me and cognitive Mini for few days, please. Take our help. Take myself as an observer. Take the other person, the thinking person's help as well, so that you will do well in life. For now, so this cognitive mini is giving a response to this. I'm ready to collaborate with you, observer mini and emotional mini. So this happens when she gets up from the observer's chair. She sits in the cognitive mini's chair and gives this response. Later on, she moves to the emotional mini's chair, and this is emotional mini's dialogue. Though I'm unhappy for now to collaborate with cognitive mini, I take your suggestion to cooperate with you both, is the final response is given. So this might seem like something like mm, maybe you experience things like doubt if this kind of a technique will work. My practice in this exclusively as an expressive arts therapist for 10 plus years has really proven to be effective. And this is just a small sample that I've given you, but there's so much of process which goes through, and so many dialogues, and more use of props, and to direct that session. Once a psychodrama is happening in a forum, in a closed room, there is so much of emotions that the client goes through, so much of emotional outbursts they can have. They may cry, and it can be, things can be really painful, and they can be drain post the session also. They get back, and some may not be able to sleep, or some may be able to sleep very well because everything is out, and now I feel calmer. Some people's brain is like activated because it's processing something. And as a facilitator, my role will be always to be a support system for my client to think and do whatever is needed for them. They have to take their life decisions, they need to stand for themselves, they need to move forward in life, and that's up to them. And I am only here to help them to live their life in the most effective way that they can, and the way they want. So this is just an introduction about the training course that which is happening, where there is some intense learning on visual arts. As I told you, to use props also in this act of psychodrama, we had to use visual arts, clay modeling, and I told you what Mini used was creative writing, storytelling, to speak about people's life stories, narrative skills. How you narrate it as though it happened to someone else can reduce your emotional pain. Puppeting, making puppets and talking about puppet stories, play therapy, something like as sand therapy, psychodrama, music, and dance. So these are the different kinds of modules which can actually help an individual's personal growth. So, building the person's awareness, confidence, creativity, emotional resilience, and if some in any profession, an individual who is in will have this kind of, who can go through this kind of an experiential practice, and have real world application, can improve their productivity in terms of profession, and expanding. People from this field can be expanding their counseling skills, educational coaching, or in whatever way they are here to um, help people. Any helping professional would be able to conduct these kind of therapeutic sessions with the proper kind of training. And if you're already someone from the psychology background, it is an added feather to your hat, where you're already using other tools. This exclusive tool, which was very quite popular in India in from the 1980s, could be made even more effective in practice to help people. So, case termination. How did this Mini's case come to an end? So, the agenda throughout working with Mini was healing the inner child. There could be various hurt feelings as a child without parents that she could have gone through. Emotional stability, to improve the person's emotional stability, improve self confidence for many. And I think at many places, when I narrated her story, she had put herself in a place where she did not maybe take the right decision for herself, making some choices which did not turn like it went futile. And better problem solving strategies and coping mechanisms when I face a failure, when I face rejection, when I face an abuse, how should I cope with it? How should I deal with it? And what decision should I take at this point of time? So, these kind of skills to equip them and make their personality better would really be helpful. And when do you know that your client is showing improvement is when there is an improvement in the thought, feeling, and the behavior of that individual. We either get feedbacks from people who accompany them for the sessions, or if you are employed in an organization, you know by seeing them, you get a chance to see them very frequently in their work setup or study setup, so you know what is actually happening in their lives. And in Minnie's story, what happened was she got some clarity about what she really wanted to do. She secured an opportunity for higher studies abroad. Because she felt that she did not have a basic ground for professional excellence and to move forward in life, she chose to study. She took a good subject where a job oriented subject where she could fetch a job and also be satisfied in her career because she took something of her aptitude, interest, and which suits her personality. And she got this opportunity, a scholarship where she could go study. She explored, she wrote exams, she cleared. And during the end of the session, Minnie was in a kind of state where Minnie wants to create her own family. That was her goal for then, a short term goal, or maybe that is what she wanted to experience in the long term, which she missed from childhood. So this time she's making this kind of a firm decision where Minnie wants to create her own family with a man of commitment towards spouse and their kids. So maybe she realized that that is what was missing in her previous choices. And she was able to figure it out after a lot of work being done. So this was Minnie's success story. And for a process to be, for any counseling process, therapeutic process, a medical treatment to be a success, it involves two parties, both the facilitator, the therapist, and the client. So when that is strong and there is reciprocation equally from both sides, then there are high chances of a change and in the life of the client. And as a counselor, as a therapist, this is what gives us the kind of satisfaction for the kind of efforts we put in and the work we do with our clients. To see our clients happy makes us also happy. I'm sure most of you can relate to this. So this is Minnie's story, which I've presented to you today. And if any of you have anything to share, please come forward. Feel free to talk. The floor is yours. Anyone can speak. A few words about what your takeaway was, what was some new learning.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I would like to share about the childhood part which impacts the adults, ma'am. That was very true, and most of us ignore it. We think it is past and we have forgotten, or sometimes no, we think it is not impacting us today. But uh, I also strongly believe that the childhood things is still inside us, which is impacting our today's life and routine. So when we want to take the next step, we have to heal it, we have to work on it, then only we can move in our future. So that's what I strongly understood from this case study, ma'am. So thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
ma'am. Let me hear from the others. Yeah, Gayatri ma'am, would you like to speak?
Yeah, it was a nice session, madam. Yeah, we can understand the hidden emotions, how they, uh, yeah, influence the behavior of the child or anybody. So it's nice, but just can you please explain the assessment part once again?
Ma'am, that assessment would take consume more time. So when there is a workshop or something like that, when it's possible for you to enroll, that would be helpful.
Okay, what is that HTP expansion?
House tree person test.
Okay, oh, that is drawing a house tree and
Ah,
person.
yes, ma'am. And there'll be
Yes.
an interpretation for it, and that there'll be some questions related to it, which we place on the clients, and then we do a interpretation, and we talk about it to them.
Okay, okay. When will be this workshop?
Can I privately talk to you about it? Can
Sure,
you
sure.
please
No,
send me a
sorry.
message so that I can
Sure,
talk to you
sure.
about it?
Thank you.
I
Thank
will
you.
explain definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wants to share a few words? Yeah. Thank you, participants. Thank you so much for joining me. I think the success of any kind of talk session is sustaining the audience. So the people who come to you in the beginning stay with you until the end is a success, because people have not got bored, because they feel that they have something to take away, and they feel it is interesting and there is something informative for you. So that way I feel very honored, and thank you for being part of today's case presentation. I also welcome you to present cases, if you wish to. You can WhatsApp me privately in regard to this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.